Hello guys, and welcome to episode 28 of the How to Make an RPG in Unity tutorial series. It's been about 3-4 months since I uploaded to the series, and it's about 2 months since I uploaded my last video. And I was on a small break, but now I'm back, and we will be trying to finish the RPG series by the end of the year. And don't worry, we will still be uploading the Valorant series episodes, as well as I will also be continuing the FPS series, as well as the Dank Memer series. And I will also be starting 2 new series so far that I've planned out. But yeah, a lot of exciting videos to come. So what's going to happen today is we're just going to be working on some small bug fixes that we found in the last episode with our hotbar inventory system. So the first bug that I found was that actually, so say I dropped my helmet. If I drop my helmet, what happens is I can actually click on the empty helmet slot of the helmet I just dropped and then have it reappear and then infinitely drop it and pick it up, or respawn it, I guess. And this is an issue because it obviously gives our player like infinite items, which is not what we want. And you can see I can replicate this with any item, not just the helmet. And yeah, so that is the first bug that we're going to fix. And how we're going to fix that bug is we're going to go into our player scripts. And the reason that that bug happens is because inside of our hotbar, inside of the item slots, they actually store the data of our items that we put into those slots. And when we drop an item, we clear the data from the player data array, but we don't actually clear the data from that individual item slot. So we're just gonna have to do that real quick if we can find the drop function. So I just found where we did the drop function. I guess it's not really a function because we just have it in void update here. But I found it, and what we're gonna do is, because currently we are only changing the hotbar value, we also have to change the individual item slot value. So we're just gonna type in hotbar slots cur equipped. So we're getting that specific item slot dot and I guess we would want to change the game object, because we're trying to get the parent object, which is game object, and we're gonna get the child object, which is the slot script. So we're just going to get component slot, and then we're going to want to change the value of our, what was it called? I think it was called object data. So obj data is, we're going to set that to be equal to null. We can save that script, and then once we go back into Unity, that problem should not occur anymore. So we press play. Okay, so we are going to drop this, and now I'm clicking on it, but a new one's not going to spawn in anymore. And if I drop this, a new one's not going to spawn in. If I pick it up and move it, I can drop it, but a new one's not going to spawn in when I click on it. Okay, perfect. So now another issue that we had is that you can actually drop items and switch items in your hotbar, and also scroll on your hotbar when you're basically in your inventory, which is okay. I guess switching items should be allowed. However, I don't think you should be allowed to switch your currently equipped item when you're in your inventory, because that kind of gives the player like an advantage. And I also don't think you should be able to scroll. You guys can completely skip this part if you guys don't agree with me, but I'm going to make it so that you can't scroll inside your hotbar, and I'm also going to make it so that you cannot switch the currently equipped item. And another thing is, you can drop items that you are currently equipping, and you can use items that you're currently equipping in the inventory. So let me just show you guys. See, I'm eating, which shouldn't happen. And because timescale is 0, it's not letting me eat. But the fact that this bar that shows the eating pops up is not good. So we're gonna fix that real quick. Okay, so let's go into our script again, and then let's find where we do scrolling. Let's see here. Here is the scrolling, and I believe in the UI manager we have a check for whether or not our inventory is actually open. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a reference to our inventory system, and I think UIFT. I think this is the parent object for everything, though. Like this should be the parent object for the inventory and everything. So I'm going to make a game object reference to that, and then we can scroll up here. Whoops, that's the wrong scripts. We can scroll all the way up here, unless we already have a reference, which I don't think we do. I'm going to make a game object reference to the UIMT, and then I'm going to set the UIMT, or check if the UIMT is actually active when we actually do scroll. So we can actually type here if UIMT, if not UIMT dot active self. So if it is not actually active, then we can actually scroll. Otherwise, we're not going to let our players scroll. And let me just close off that bracket. Perfect. And now we can go back into Unity and we can drag in what our UIMT should be. So it should be in the canvas. It is, I believe, where's the UI manager? Let me see what I put inside the UI manager. That's a rigid body. UI manager should be in the canvas. No. There we go. There's UI manager. So UIMT is this. And this holds the inventory. Right. Okay, perfect. So let me just drag this into our script right over here. And now if we press play, we'll be able to scroll if our inventory is not open, but if it is open, we are no longer allowed to scroll. However, we can still drop items when we shouldn't be allowed to. Like now, I just dropped it, and also I can switch items that I am currently equipping, which is also not good. So we're going to fix that, and how we're going to fix that is first let's just fix the drop. Actually, quite a simple fix. What we can do is we can just literally just wrap all of this in the closing bracket of this statement. Now the harder part is making it so that you can't actually switch items when you are, or switch the currently equipped item when UIMD is active. So let's see where we switch health bar items or hotbar items. I believe it is somewhere here. Damn, we wrote a lot for drag item. So this is equipment. This is so I guess, okay, so this is what happens if it is neither equipment, inventory, or chest, which means it has to be hotbar, right? So what we're gonna do is we're going to say if index num is equal to, and I believe we have an int to determine which scroll we're on, which item we're on in the scrolling. If we go into void update, I believe it is, yeah, cur equipped. Right. So if our index num is equal to cur equipped, and, or actually there should be no and, because we can only switch items and drag items when our inventory is open. So we can just literally just wrap it around like that. And that should work. If we go back into Unity, we should see now that if it is equipped, we can't actually switch anything into it, or out of it, sorry. Oh, okay. We did it backwards. So for some reason now, right, so it should be not equal to, so sorry. It shouldn't be that if you could only drag it when it is the currently equipped. It should be that you can only drag it when it isn't the currently equipped. Sorry, my bad. But now you should be able to drag things around. Whoops. Oh, I forgot to save it. That's right. Okay, there we go. So we saved the script. Now it should work. Press play. Okay, so we can drag this around now, but we can't drag it out of what we're actually currently equipped. And but you can drop it in, which is why we're going to switch this up right here, and we're gonna wrap this all in an if statement. We're gonna type if index num is not equal to cur equipped, and there we go. Perfect. So that should be those two problems solved. I think there was one more bug from the last video, but I wasn't able to replicate it. See, I can't drop it into my currently equipped tab. I can switch it around, but I can't drop it in. And if I hold it, I can't drop it while I'm in inventory. And I cannot drag it out. Okay, perfect. Now, what we need to do is we need to make it so that NPCs, the NPC, I guess, what is his name? Jerry or something, is not activated by a trigger, but instead activated by Raycast. And I believe we switched our weapon pickup or our item pickup from trigger to Raycast. So we're just gonna make the switch for our NPC really quickly. And we should be able to just delete the NPC trig. You can see all of this stuff only happens while our player is in the trigger. So instead of doing that now, what we can actually do is we can go into wherever we made our raycast. Should be in player. Player data. I wonder, did we do? Yeah, we did raycast here. Okay, cool. So, instead of it being items, we're gonna create a new game object tag. We're gonna create a new game object tag called NPC. And inside the NPC tag, we will create different states for each different NPCs, because each NPC script is different. We have NPC 1 here. In the future, we'll have NPC 2, NPC 3, NPC 4. For now, we'll just have NPC 1. So we can just say if, actually, so a couple of things first. We can actually just copy all of this because it'll make our lives easier. So if we copy all of this, and then we put it here, we can say, yep, trigger text is going to be true. But instead of this, it will say, press E to interact with, and we'll get the NPC's name. So the NPC name should be a string. So we can just say dot get component NPC1 dot NPC name. I believe that was the variable name. Yeah. That's right. Perfect. And then we will not print it because we know this works. And if we get E, then we will run the function that is inside of NPC1. So we can delete all of this, and then we do hit the get component, and then we do this, paste it in, get the component of NPC1, the script, and then instead of having inside NPC1, instead of having it be an onTrigger state function, we just create a public function called NPC trigger. There we go. So now we can delete this because we know for sure that if this function runs, it's going to be the player that triggers it. We can also delete this because there is no longer a trigger. And then now let's go through this one by one. So actually first let's just make sure that we get the right function, which is NPC trigger. And now we can go through this one by one. So we set the trigger text to be true, which we already have. We can actually delete this as well because we did that in the player data script. We can also delete this check for input because we already know the player inputted if this function runs. We're going to set dialog to true, and if we haven't talked to them before, we're going to set our player data to be equal to 1. So we're actually going to make a reference to player data, or I call it other, and then inside here we're going to input this parameter as this, and basically we're just referencing this player data script, and we're going to input it as a parameter into NPC1. And now we get the player data's game object dialog number to be equal to 1. Okay, we set the dialog object to be equal to true. We lock the cursor, blah blah blah. All of the sword stuff. Okay, it should work. I think everything should be still good. If we go into our game now and we press play, should work. So where is our friend Jerry? He is right here. Nope. We are raycasting him. Oh, that's right, because there is actually no NPC trigs object on Jerry, or whatever his name is. It's actually on our Joey, sorry. It's actually on our box trigger, which we can delete, and then we can create a new component for our NPC1 script. We can paste the component values, and now we can press play. Where is Jerry? He's right here. Cannot talk to him. That's weird. Let me see. Inside our player data, we are getting hit.player game object. Oh, that's right, because Joey's tag isn't actually an NPC yet. We actually haven't made that tag, so we actually need to create a new tag. Call it NPC, and then set Joey to be equal to that tag. So there we go. Now Joey is an NPC. We can. Okay, there we go. Now we can press E to interact with Joey. A bug is that we can actually do this however far away, so we're gonna make it so that you can only do it when you're like 2 feet in front of him. If we press E, it says I need your help, and then boom. Now we have an issue here though. NPC1.hasTalked is equal to true, and we got an object reference error. So for some reason, oh that's right, because we deleted the old object. The dialog object won't know what NPC1, where the NPC1 script is now. So we can go into the dialog object, which should be here, and let us reattach our NPC1 script. And yeah, that should be all good. So now the only thing we have to do is we have to do distance. I believe in our pickup we also check for distance, or actually we don't even check for distance. I believe we can set a distance parameter inside of our raycast. So 5 would just be like, I think 5 meters. So we have to be within 5 meters to actually make the raycast work. There we go. There's Joey. The problem is if I do walk away though, he is it's still gonna display. Actually, let's try making this 1, see if it'll work. 5 meters might be too much. Let me see. So now we're in. we have to get up super close to actually interact with Joey. Yeah. But the problem is the trigger text isn't going away. I believe we have an else statement here that sets trigger text to be equal to false. Let's see. How about, okay, I think instead of doing this, we just use vector2 dot, or sorry, use the distance method. Manually check if distance is there. Because like, as you can see right now, as long as I'm pointing my cursor at it, I can still pick it up from like however far away, which is not good. And another thing is, right, like I can talk to Joey from like this far away, which is not possible. So we're just gonna use distance. Right, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna say var this is gonna be equal to vector3 dot distance, and the distance is gonna be between npc1 and our hit.collider.game object. And actually, sorry, not npc1, this.game object. And actually, we would need to paste this inside here, as well as here. Dot transform. There we go. Dot transform for here as well. Okay, cool. Sorry, there's still an error. Transform dot position. Damn, I haven't done this in so long. Forgot what a vector was and everything. Okay, so we paste that here, and then now we can just get say if this is less than or equal to 5 or 3, let's say, and only so if it's less than or equal to 3, then we'll do this. And same for picking up objects on the ground. So now we save that, we go back in, we should be able to see that our interaction can only happen if we are at 3 feet or closer. But the problem is when we're walking out, it doesn't disappear. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna say else. Actually, what we can do is copy this here and put it inside this if statement. So double pound symbol, and vector3 distance is less than or equal to 3. And we can actually just delete this if statement, and that's vector, and we can do the same for here and just make it so that we put it inside this big if statement. Cool. So now everything should work. If we walk out of the way, then the trigger text will disappear. So if we walk towards Joey and we walk out, it will disappear when we're out of range. And when we're in range, we can go retrieve the sword and do whatever. Okay, perfect. Let me just test out for the items. They all work. If I'm out of range, it will not work. And yeah, that's perfect. Okay, cool. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I know it's been a long time since I posted. I will definitely post in the next video some more exciting things. We'll be doing new things. This video is just kind of like a recap and like fixing some old bugs. But we did a lot of housekeeping stuff, so in the next video we'll be able to just do completely new stuff. Thanks for watching, guys. The next video should be around tomorrow or today even. And yeah, I'll see you guys later.